Hello, everybody. It is I, Gregg Bosson, Gregg S. Bosson. The S is for Stephen, an irrelevant piece of information. And off we go. It is QuickTips 2016. How's it going? All right. So this month's tip has to do with your company information, the name of your organization or your company, the address, and how to change that. You know, frequently when people set up a data file, the very first thing that you do is you put in your company information, your name, the ID number, the phone number. Somebody else may have done that before you, and then it may end up being wrong and need to be changed, or maybe you just changed the name of the company and it needs to be changed. So in any case, people always wonder, how do you get back to that where you entered the main company information? Before I even go there, let me show you what the result is of what the relevance is of the company information, your name and your company address, etc. It appears on forms, all right? So it appears in a lot of places actually, but one of those is the forms, and I'm going to go back to, this is a little sales receipt, and I'm going to go ahead and preview the sales receipt, and this is something you might send to a customer, and you'll see over here, here is the name, the address. This is your company's name and address, and it came from the company information screen that was filled out when your data file was set up umpteen million years ago. So if this is wrong, like for instance, there's not a drive listed, it should be Monroe Drive. There's not a drive here. Apparently somebody was in a hurry when they set it up. Where do you go to get that information? Well, what you're going to do, and this is in the desktop version of the program, you're going to go to Company, and then you're going to see something that says My Company. Now, if you have a really old version of QuickBooks, which I would think is like maybe 2012 and older or something, it might say Company Information, but in the newer versions of QuickBooks, it says My Company. So I'm going to click it. And this is where you'll get a window that gives you the information, phone number, email. This is the stuff that was filled out when your data file was originally created. If you want to change it, I mean, I can click on this, but ain't nothing going to happen. Can you guess where you would go to change it? Probably not. It's not so obvious. But you see this little pencil thing over here? That's where you go. You push that and it opens up an edit window. I'm going to go ahead and push it. And it opens up an edit window where you can edit the information that is appearing. Okay? So I'm going to call this Synergy Now Inc. And this says Monroe. I'm going to add Drive Northeast. Okay? And might want to make this all caps. Great. And then I'm also going to put a suite number here. Suite 260, 303, there we go. And I could change the phone number, I could change the email address, not a big deal. Now that's the contact information, and this is the information that will change as it appears on the forms. This legal information, that's a different screen, and this appears on payroll tax forms, and this is only relevant if you're using QuickBooks to do your payroll. If you're using an outside payroll company, you wouldn't need to change this. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here just for the heck of it. Suite 260. Whoops, 260. Great. All right. What else is here? Company identification. This is where you would put your federal identification number. If it was wrong, you can change it right here. This is relevant for payroll. Report information. This is where you put your fiscal year. So when you print out a report, and we'll actually come back to this, but this is where the fiscal year gets created. I think I'm going to come back to that one. And then finally, we have some payroll tax form information that, again, is only relevant if you're using QuickBooks to do your payroll. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now you'll see it's changed here, but the most important thing is when I go to print preview this sales receipt, now it's changed there. All right, so let's go back and look at the date real quick. Go into the company screen here, My Company, and we'll go to the edit, and we'll go to reports, and here's where the fiscal year is. Now I'm saying my fiscal year and my tax year begins January, see, first month, so that means it would be ending in December. So if I go to do a report, profit and loss standard, and I say this fiscal year, it's going to give me a year that ends in December. You got it? But if, on the other hand, I change this, let me go to company and my company, and we'll go to edit, and we'll go to reports. I'm going to change this to June or July. We'll say that my year ends in June, which means it begins in July. So I'll change the tax year and the fiscal year. I'll click OK. Great. I'll go back to this report. This fiscal year, now it needs to be refreshed. When I refresh it, notice how it ends in June. Okay, so not a big deal, but again, this is where you would go, company, my company, and the little edit menu, and this is where you go to change all the information, your original company information. And I think that is it. I hope you appreciated this little tip. Not the most interesting one. You may have heard a dog in the background. If you did, that is perfectly fine. It's a very sweet, wonderful dog, so hopefully you enjoyed that. If not, you have no idea what I'm talking about, so it doesn't really matter. I'll catch you next month. Bye.